Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Just getting the truck washed, and to do that I'm using some of this Dip Your Car pre-wash. So I don't know if you've ever watched one of Fonzie's videos from Dip Your Car. He makes the process look super easy and the results are always great. So I've kind of been curious, how well would I be able to dip my entire car? How well would it turn out? Being that I'm not a very good painter. You guys saw maybe you saw the video. If you haven't, maybe saw the spray and bed liner I did. I still haven't gotten more cans of it yet to fix the issues that I had, but yeah, so you take a look at those results and you can see that I am definitely not a professional painter by any means. I have used some dip before. Well, actually I did it on these wheels, but on the 2017 F150 I had dipped those wheels too, the stock rims. I dipped those in black while I was trying to decide on what rims or what wheels and tires that I did want to get for it and decide on my lift and everything. So in the meantime, I wanted to see, did I like the truck with black wheels? And I went ahead and dipped them, and it actually turned out pretty good. When I went to peel them to clean them, it came right off. There's a couple of spots where it didn't put it on thick enough that were hard to get off, but for the most part, it came off really easy. And like I said, if you watch Fonzie's videos, it looks super simple to do, but he's also been doing this for several years and does hundreds, if not thousands of cars. So for him, it probably is easy. So I wanted to see how easy would it be for me to dip my own truck. I'm going to do the entire thing. The first thing, I gotta wash it. We gotta let it sit for 24 hours so everything is completely dry, and then I'll come back, start masking things off, and go from there. So hopefully it turns out good. If not, well, that's why I'm doing it on this truck. It's my experiment truck. If it does turn out good, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't turn out good, because if it does, then I'm going to probably be back on their site looking to see what other colors I want to try. We'll give this a shot, see how it turns out, and decide if I'd ever dip my car again or not. Alright guys, so I got it all taped off. It's been a couple of days just taking my time going through when I'm not working, and now it's the weekend. It's time to finish it off. Put some barrier paper up around the garage in a few spots, and everything is cleaned off. Again, you get a can of pre-dip spray to spray the car down with, which I don't know, here it is. It's this. Spray it down, wipe it down with a rag, and then I've done that once. I'm gonna go ahead and do it a second time and then start mixing paints, and we'll get going. This is one of the base coats. It came with, I ordered the kit for the large kit for trucks, and this is the first base coat. There's 3 cans of base coat and 3 cans of color, and this is supposedly like a gunmetal gray. Let's see how it mixes up. Okay, there it is. So yes, definitely needs to be stirred a bit before it's ready to use. Put in here, and we will try not to make a mess and pour some in there. Alright, so now we got the spray nozzle. Now the hose it came with is super long, so that's awesome. And we'll have to keep relocating this. I can keep it over here by the plug. and this hose should be plenty long enough. Alright, so the first coat's done. It's kind of gray. You can still see the green through it. It's not supposed to be a super thick coating for the first layer. And another beautiful rainy day outside. But some things I didn't bother masking off. I just took off, like the brake lights and the third brake light, because I have new ones of those on order. So I went ahead and just took the old ones out. Took the badges off. Everything else I taped up. But I'll let this first coat dry a bit. And I'll just keep painting. I can't really talk while I'm painting. The machine's not super loud, but it's a little loud for trying to record over. And what I forgot to do on this first one, which I'm regretting, is it is a little stinky in here. So even though I have the garage open and everything, I'm definitely going to be wearing this for the rest of the spraying. So I'm going to go ahead and finish spraying the rest of the gray base coat. That first layer took almost a gallon, not quite a gallon, so I'd say probably 2 more passes, since the next passes will probably be thicker. I'd say probably 2 passes more, maybe 3, with the base coat, and then I'll check back in with you. Here it is with 3 coats of the gunmetal gray base coat. You can see where it's drying. It's a little lighter, a little darker. Actually kind of just like this color, but took, it was 3 gallons. You can see where there's still drying and where it's dry and where it's wet there, but went on fairly well. Couple of spots that I screwed up on, but overall sprayed on pretty good. Now, if you were doing this to get a good finish on your car or truck, you do have to do prep work. It doesn't hide anything. Just like paint, it's gonna, if there's any imperfections on your body panels, they're going to show up through this. It's not going to hide anything at all. But it does make a nice smooth finish so far. But now it's time to start laying the color down, and I didn't go too far off the original color of the truck. It's a little bit different. It's called Jungle Green. I'll go ahead and mix this up, see what it looks like. You see, it's like a metallic dark green. So now I have 3 gallons of this to spray over top of the gray, and we'll see how that turns out. So I don't know if you can see that too well on the camera, but I see a lot of the metallic flake in there, and we'll see how it turns out.
Metallica is an American heavy metal band.
Apparently Siri thought I was talking to her. Alright, well there it is. It's still drying in a couple of spots. I just pulled it out so I can see it in the sunlight, what's the little bit of sunlight there is. Putting trim pieces on, removing the masking. Overall it turned out decent. I mean, there's a few spots where it's sprayed on too thick. But on video, but looking through the camera, it doesn't look any different than what it looked like when I started, except for it's all one color now instead of a couple. But you can see there that color, a little bit of sunshine on there. Does look a little bit different. But yeah, I just gotta finish cleaning up, putting trim on. I got some window trim to put on there, and then I gotta wipe everything down with some dip cleaner once everything's dry, and we'll give it another look, see how it turned out. But yeah, and the good thing is, if I don't like it, it is dip, and I can just pull it right off, which kind of want to do. I'm obsessed with, you know, when you get little plastic things, you get electronics and it's got the little plastic thing, adhesive stuff on it. I'm obsessed with peeling that off, and it's kind of peeling the Plasti dip off is kind of like that. So it probably won't be too long before I just start peeling this off, just because I like that. No, but yeah, overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know down in the comments down below, what do you think? I mean, this is my first time doing it, other than doing like rattle can on my rims, on my old rims and on these, which they look fine, I think. But doing the entire car is definitely a different beast. Yeah, this one, some of my tear lines came out a little uneven. I know watching the dip your car videos, he said, you know, do any seams that are like right up against the paint like this, pull them when the last coat is wet, which I tried to do, and I still had some issues. I don't know if it wasn't wet enough when I did it or what was going on, but alright, so it's all put back together, except for the badges. I ordered new badges for the side, and some lights, but everything else put back together. The window trim, I painted that black, kind of go along with everything else. Repainted the windshield wiper arms. Now there are some spots where you see like this circle, and if you hit the right angle, you could see where it's not perfectly smooth. And everything was going great on the last pass I was doing on this. One of the air nozzles got clogged, so it was doing really heavy to one end, and so it was not laying evenly, and the more I tried to fix it, the worse it got. I did notice that it was doing that. I didn't know why, and I just kept trying to spray it to make it better, which made it worse. I did finally figure out why, you know, because the one side of the air nozzle was clogged up, so it wasn't spraying the bottom half as evenly as it was the top, so it wasn't a very flat pass going across. I did get that fixed, but I ended up and then started painting over it again to try to get that fixed, but I ran out of Plasti dip before I managed to get that done. So depending on the angle you're looking at on just this half of the hood, the other half doesn't look too bad, and there's a couple of spots here and there, but this half particularly got it really bad because that's where the thing was clogged up. And then a couple of spots throughout where it's kind of like overspray looking, where it's got a bit of texture to it. So I found out you can't just kind of spot paint spots too. If you see something, you can't just kind of spot paint it. You have to keep everything wet as you're applying it, or it does not apply smoothly. So it's not something like you can paint along and then like, oh, I missed a spot over there, and go back to later, because it causes issues. But I'm still waiting for the lights I ordered to arrive. But I think the back end actually looks kind of good with that color. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even bother doing any of the body work on that. I punched those out a little bit. I just took the lights out and taped over the bulbs so I could put the new lights in whenever I get them. But overall, I think it turned out decent. Definitely not a pro level job at all. Here you can see kind of the overspray texture in that area. And that came when I was up in the bed doing this top rail before, because I wanted to make sure it was wet when I was pulling that tape off so it didn't create a jagged edge, but when doing so it kind of oversprayed onto the edges or onto the side. So definitely a couple of things I learned in the process of how I could do it better. Would I do it again? Probably yes. Will I do it again? We'll have to see. I want to do some torture tests, see how well this holds up to just normal everyday use. Like, can I take it through a car wash and see what happens like that? If it gets damaged, it's not the end of the world, because like I said, I am fighting the urge to just start peeling this anyway, because I don't know what you would call it, but a small obsession with peeling that, or just letting glue dry and peeling it. So fighting the urge to do that. So if I find a reason to peel it, I'm not going to be too upset. Somebody that's never really, definitely not a professional painter, managed to do a halfway decent job in a dirty garage with, and I think it looks pretty good. Somebody with some better painting experience, somebody with a cleaner environment, could definitely do that, and it's a whole lot cheaper than getting a paint job. A lot less prep work. You still would want to do prep work if you're wanting to do like a final coat and make this look pristine. Like here you see, I don't know if this shows up here on camera too good. Let me see if I can find, like here where there's clear coat, like a layer of clear coat that had peeled off, where that clear coat was missing. Same down here where, so stuff like that you would definitely want to sand out and smooth out. Any dents or anything like that would be, same amount of body work that you would have to do if you were painting. But all you would have to do to prep this for Plasti dip is wipe everything down, clean it, let it dry, wipe everything down again, make sure everything's masked off, which you would have to do if you're painting. But then you don't have to do any of the sanding, any of that, if you're working with a already good solid base. If you're not, then you'd have to do some prep work, some sanding, some smoothing, but you would have to do that for paint as well. So overall, I'm happy with the results. Figure it's a 20-some-year-old truck. It's not going to look perfect. But yeah, just waiting for the taillights, third brake light to come in, and that is going to be finished up. I do have new parts on order for the 2017 F150 as well. So my next video will be back to the new truck. So stay tuned. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.